Once again, welcome back to the studios of Connecticut Score Broadcasting as our second segment on the Mike and Sean Show, our double coverage. Yes. And we're going to go talk a little bit about what happened around the league, and we had a lot of crazy things happen this week, including the Jaguars. We'll get to that in a minute.
I want to start, Mike, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I want to start with a little rant about the Baltimore Ravens and how they should run their offense and why they're not running it the right way. Losing the game 26-21, yes, we know it was a 33-yard pass from Matt Ryan to Roddy White, obviously. And the end of the game, we know this. We know this.
Right.
We know that the Ravens had the game. They had it. But they didn't. They lost at the end. All right? This is pretty much why the Ravens lose when they do. They don't run the ball, and they pass the ball way too much with Joe Flacco. And when Joe Flacco can't pass the ball, he throws interceptions. He threw 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Okay? Ray Rice had 12 carries.
Yeah, I know we were getting to Ray Rice.
59 yards. Yeah, sure, he had 3 catches, 43 Eagles, over 100 yards. But, I mean, give him more carries. I mean, I'm telling you right now.
Well, why would you bring in Anquan Bolden, T.J. Hushmanzada, if you're going to feature a running offense?
You got to hand the ball off to him a little more than 12 times a game. I mean, right?
You got Willis McGahee on that team too, don't you?
He only had 3 carries.
All right.
That's besides the point.
Now, I watched the same game you did.
I know that.
And only when Flacco opened it up in those last 2 drives were we able to stick in the end zone.
Let me tell you something. Flacco did a good job. I'm not telling you that, but when this usually happens.
With their defense, 21 points is enough to win.
When this usually happens, when they don't run the ball enough and they pass the ball too much, it usually backfires on them because Flacco usually throws more interceptions than he does touchdowns in those situations.
I wouldn't say he's an interception machine.
No, he's not an interception machine because when they run a very balanced offense like they should, they win the game. Those 3 games that they've lost this season are because they pass the ball too much. When they run the ball, they've won 6 games.
You ever see? I think you're kind of gotten a little backwards there, Sean.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times you're passing the balls because when you're losing.
Yep.
All right. Especially when you're losing by multiple scores, like they were losing 20-7. You get away from the running game.
You shouldn't have to worry about getting away from the running game unless if you're down under 10 minutes in the fourth quarter.
They were. They were down 20-7 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but weren't they? They were passing the ball the entire game, like they were down the entire time. You don't run away from the run. You don't, no pun intended, run away from the run.
Did you ever think that maybe as they're watching the game, the offensive coordinator I don't know if he was up in the booth.
Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator?
I don't know if he's up in the booth or he's down in the field.
Yeah, he's down in the field.
Maybe Atlanta was jamming the line with eight people in the box. You got to go by what the
Every time Ray Rice ran the football, he gained 9 yards a pop. I'm just saying.
Maybe Flacco checked off at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a lot of issues there that we're not familiar with.
Joe Flacco never audibles into a running play.
How do you know? Come on.
He never audibles.
Are you in their huddle?
Never audibles.
Do you know the terminology?
He's thrown the ball 34 times. He threw it 34 times.
He threw the ball a lot because in the fourth quarter.
12 carries.
He threw the ball. But see, that number skewed a little bit because they fell behind by multiple scores. And when you fall behind by multiple scores, you change your game plan, especially in the fourth quarter. You got to throw the ball more.
I don't want to get into this.
Maybe they need a little bit more balance, but they can make it too much of it.
I don't want to get in this game so much in depth. Okay.
You already have.
Because we already have. I just want to move on.
All right.
Look, balance your offense, and you will win.
You want your man Ray Rice to get the ball.
Just balance the offense. I don't care who gets the ball.
All
just
right.
run the ball more. Go, next.
Bears over the Vikings at Chicago. Favre again, 3 interceptions. Bears ran the ball well. Cutler threw the ball well. Vikings were leading early, but
can we officially say that the Vikings are done this season?
I would say now you're done because the Bears are now 3-0 in the division, along with being 6-3 overall. Have they played Packers yet? I think the Bears have already. I don't think the Bears have even played the Packers.
I don't think they did.
So how could they be 3-0 division?
I'll check for you. All
right. Well, anyway. The Bears and the Packers are now.
They played Green Bay once already this year.
They did? Okay.
Yes, they did.
All right, so the Bears and Packers are both 3 games up on Minnesota.
Yep.
And that's just about it. Now we got the Brett Favre watch is on, not in the offseason, see if he's coming back to see if he's going to play. He's still hurting. Once they fall out, that's it. Let the streak go. Who cares?
Do you think that...
Let Tavares Jackson get his reps.
Do you think, honestly, he might retire in the middle of the year?
No.
No?
He'll stay there He's getting big money to stay there. He'll stay to the end of the year.
Yeah, this is very true.
And that'll be it. Let Tavares Jackson learn how to play. If you're Minnesota, you got so much.
Well, he's been the
you got so many
started
things,
the quarterback for 2 years.
but you got so many things going on in your favor. You got a great set of wide receivers when they're healthy. You got
Tavares Jackson actually has the potential to become the next Michael Vick.
You got Gerhardt and Peterson as your running backs. You got a pretty good defense. At least your front seven's pretty good. Let the kid learn how to play.
Right.
Forget about Favre. The Favre thing is over with. You're not going to win. You had your shot last year.